I am Anitrisa Varghese, and I am here to deliver a speech of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. As we all know his love for student community, it's a speech that he delivered at Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad, about his 3 visions for India. I have 3 visions for India. In 3000 years of our history, people from all over the world come and invaded us, captured our land, conquered our mind. From Alexander onwards, the Turks, the Portuguese, the French, the Dutch, all of them came and looted us and took over what was ours. Yet we have not done this to any other nation. We have not grabbed their land, conquered their mind, history or culture and tried to enforce our way of living on them. Why? Why? Because we respect the freedom of others. That is what my first vision stands for, freedom. I believe that India got its first vision in 1857 when we started the War of Independence. It is the freedom that we must protect, nourish and build on. If we are not free, no one will respect us. And my second vision for India is development. For 50 years, India has been a developing nation. It's time to see ourselves as a developed nation. We are among top 5 nations in terms of GDP. We have 10% growth rate in most areas. Our poverty lines are falling and our achievements are globally recognized today. Yet we lack the self-confidence to see ourselves as a developed nation. Self-assurance and self-reliant, isn't this incorrect? And I have third vision for India. India must stand up to the world. Otherwise, no one will respect us. Strength respects strength. We must not only strong as military power but also as economic power. Both must go hand in hand. Apart from all these visions, I have some questions to ask. Why we are in India so negative? Why the media in India are so negative? Why we are in India so embarrassed to recognize ourselves? India is such a great nation. We have so many amazing successful stories. Yet we lack the self-confidence to assure that or recognize that. Why is it happening here? Look at Dr. Sudarshan. He has transferred a tribal village into a self-sustaining unit. There are so many amazing successful stories, but we lack to recognize them. I don't know why Indians are like that. We are the number 1 in milk production. We are number 1 in remote sensing satellite. We are the second largest producer of rice and we are the second largest producer of wheat. Like Dr. Sudarshan's story, there are millions of such amazing stories, but we are not into it. In India, we can only see sickness, sad, terrorism, failures, disasters in media. Why here media is so obsessed with that? I don't know. There are many amazing, successful and fabulous stories around us. Yet, we follow disasters, failures, sickness, attacks, etc. Why Indians like that? Another valid question for Indians, especially students, youngsters. Everything we need is foreign. We need foreign clothes, we need foreign electronics. Why all these obsessions are imported? Why? I don't know why you are so obsessed with foreign products. Before that, we should understand that self-reliance comes from self-respect. India is not an underdeveloped nation. It's a highly developed nation. Now I am echoing JF Kennedy's words to his fellow Americans related to India, which is ask what we can do for India and do what has to be done to make India what America and other European countries are today. Let's do what India needs from us. Thank you.
My declamation is about gender equality of Aranya Johar. She is an Indian poet and she uses social medias to address the issues like gender equality, mental health and body positivity. The first boy who held my hand told me he don't want to hear women's bleeding. The younger me could feel the misogyny. I came to know that women's body are not temple for men. My waist meant to be compared to an hourglass, my voice only meant to quiver, yet I'm silenced. Because we only boil down to sexual interaction. Not just me, my mother, sister, friends, all they cook at their pace for 13th evening. My mom telling me to wear skirt less often because Nirbhaya and more love forgotten. We don't want to become another Sindhya's daughter, do we? So I wear my jeans long, I wear my tops high, don't show my cleavage or a hint of my thighs. Don't want to be mistaken for wanting it. If I wear less, I'm more than just flaunting it. I'm risking it, risking not my virginity, risking my life. My hymen seems to be scared, told to keep it till I'm a wife. If I'm not, I'm a whore, a slut, a skank, and not as pure as I before. 15 years old Lakshmi didn't like 32 years old Guru back. And the Guru detailed clear maturely. He made her the victim of an acid attack. Lakshmi could be a sister, your girlfriend, your cousin. We're all girls, women, human, not a burden. So I asked my male friend to drop me home because his privilege will protect mine. I'm sorry, Dad. I was catcalled in my uniform at the age of 9. This is not all men thing. I know. Trust me, I do. But the men I can trust are only a few. At the age of 12, my bra straps were sexualized. At the same time, we don't get damn sexual right. My aunt raped by her husband, but marital rape is fine. Pucker up, it's a mad design, get a line. So, what I'm trying to say here tonight is, sorry, I brought up in a family where my brother taught me wrong from right and my mother believes in our generation is to better the world and slightly easier for each and every girl. Thank you. For a seaman in this room, reaching out for the help, realizing the bane of a womb, seen saved by the sin of a few, we're all collectively reaching out for you. Thank you.
My name is Rahul Manjeshwaran, and for my declamation, I've chosen the speech delivered by former US President John F. Kennedy, famously known as the Moon Speech. John F. Kennedy was the 35th US President and served from the year 1961 until November 1963 until his assassination. John F. Kennedy served during the height of the Cold War and his work mainly dealt with the Russians and the Cubans. He is known for his diplomacy, which was famously shown during the Cuban Missile Crisis. The Moon Speech was delivered by him at the Rice University, urging all Americans to come together and stand with the National Space Program and eventually win the space race. Now with this, I start my declamation. President Pitzer, Mr. Vice President, Congressman Thomas, Senator Willie, Congressman Miller, Mr. Webb, Mr. Bell, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you, President, having me made an honorary visiting professor, and I'll assure you my first lecture will be very brief. I am delighted to be here, and I'm particularly delighted to be here on this occasion. As we meet at a college noted for its knowledge, in a city noted for its progress, and in a state noted for its strength, and we stand in need for all three. As we meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of both hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance, the greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. Now, despite the striking fact the best scientists the world has ever known are currently alive and are working, and despite the striking fact that our nation's very own scientific population is doubling every 12 years in a rate of growth more than 2 times that of our national population. Despite that, the vast stretches of unknown, unanswered, and unfinished still far outstrip our collective comprehension. But no man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come, but condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's written history in a lifespan of more than half a century. Now, stated in these terms, we know very little for the first 40 years. At the end, advanced man had learned how to use animal skin to cover them. Less than 10 years ago, according to this standard, man emerged from his caves to construct new other kinds of shelter. Less than 5 years ago, did man learn how to ride and use cart with wheels. Christianity began 2 years ago. Printing press came this year. Less than 2 months ago, this entire written history more than half a century. Steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Less than 1 month ago, telephones, electric lights, automobiles and airplanes became available. Last week did we develop penicillin, nuclear power and television. And if America's new spacecraft succeeds in reaching Venus, we literally would have reached the stars by the end of midnight tonight. Now this is a breathtaking pace. Now such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. New problems, new ignorance and new dangers. The opening vistas of space promises high costs and high risks and high rewards as well. But some of us here would rather rest but wait. But this city of Houston, the state of Texas, this country of the United States was not built by those who rested and waited. This country was built by those people who move forward and so build space. So as we set sail in this new sea, there's new knowledge to be gained and new rights to be won. And they must be won and must be used for the progress of all people. Space science, like nuclear science, has no conscience of its own. Whether it will be used for good or ill depends upon man. But if the United States is in a state of preeminence, can it decide whether this new ocean will be a new sea of peace or a new terrifying theatre of war? There is no strife, no prejudice, or no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hearts are all hostile towards. Its conquest requires the best of all mankind. But peaceful cooperation may never come again. But why some say the moon? Why choose this as a goal? And they may well ask why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago fly the Atlantic? Why rise place Texas? We chose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve us to organize the best of our energies and skills. That goal is one which we are willing to accept and one which we are willing not to postpone and one which we intend to win like others too. But if I were to say, my fellow citizen, that we shall send to the moon 240,000 miles away from a control station in Houston, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall, longer than this football field, made of metals and alloys, some of which has never been invented yet, capable of withstanding stress and temperature never experienced before, fitted together with precision, better than the finest watch, carrying all equipments required for guidance, propulsion, control, communication, food and survival, in an untried mission to an unknown celestial body, and returning them back safely to the Earth, re-entering the atmosphere at more than 25,000 miles per hour, causing temperatures almost that of the surface of the Sun. And do it right and do it first, and then we must be bold. As we set sail in this new sea, we ask God on His blessings on the greatest and the dangerous mission that man has ever embarked. Thank you.
I'm Albert Joseph Wright. I chose a famous speech of Stephen Hawking. Stephen William Hawking was an English theoretical physicist, cosmologist, and author who was director of research at the Center for Theoretical Cosmology at the University of Cambridge at the time of his death. Hawking achieved commercial success with several works of popular science in which he discussed his theories and cosmologies in general. His book, A Brief History of Time, appeared on the Sunday Times bestsellers list for a record-breaking 237 weeks. Hawking's scientific works include the theoretical predictions that black holes emit radiations, often called Hawking's radiation. He died on 14th March 2018 at the age of 76 after living with motor neuron diseases for more than 15 years. The Declamation. Hello, can you hear me? I was born on January 8, 1942, exactly 300 years after the death of Galileo. I had come to Cambridge to do cosmology, and cosmology I was determined to do. At the time, it became clear something was not quite right with me. I fell over, I had a great difficulty getting up again. I spent weeks in Bar Hospital and had many tests. They never actually told me what was wrong, but I guessed enough to know it was pretty bad. The doctor who diagnosed me washed his hands off me, and I never saw him again. He felt that there was nothing that could be done. At first, I became depressed. I seemed to be getting worse pretty rapidly. There did not seem any point working on my PhD because I did not know if I would live long enough to finish it. But then the condition developed more slowly, and I began to make process my work after my expectation had been reduced to zero. Every new day became a bonus, and I began to appreciate everything I did have. There was also young woman called Jane. I had met a pretty, getting engaged lift of my spirits. I began to work hard and enjoyed it. I decided to write a popular book. While I was writing it, I became critically ill with pneumonia and a lot of voice. I loss of my voice due to a theoretical theotomy, but I kept putting a lot of efforts into the book. I feel a sense of achievement that have managed to make this contribution despite having ALS. I have not allowed my disability to stop me doing most things. My motto is there is no boundaries. When we see the earth from space, we see ourselves as a block. We see the unity, not the divisions. We are here together and we need to live together without tolerance and respect. We are all time travelers, journeying together into the future. But there are other challenges, other big questions which must be answered. How will we feed an ever-growing population, provide clean water, generate renewable energy, prevent and cure diseases, and slow down global climate change? I do not think we will survive another 1,000 years without escaping beyond our fragile planet. We must also continue to go into the space for the future of humanity. We will better understanding our place in the universe. So remember to look up the stars and note down your feet. Try to make a sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist. Be curious, and however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed. It matters that you do not just give up. While there is life, there is hope. Seize the moment, act now. Be brave, be determined to overcome the odds. It can be done. Thank you.